Yes, guys, and welcome from me. This is Championship Manager 0102, the World King, Part 18. Now, we did another session yesterday. We had a 2-hour session, which I decided not to record and upload as a session because upload as a video. You don't want to be seeing upload 2 hours long. Let's be fucking honest here. I thought about it, and I thought maybe I'll just squeeze in another quick update video like now. So, 2-hour session yesterday. And we crack on. So, are you ready? Are you ready? Cast your mind back to the previous 2-hour update. Matt is PAOK, whilst I am... Oh my god, I'm on a complete fucking mind blank. Literally, I'm in Brazil. I'm on a complete mind blank as to who I was in Brazil. And it's going to come back to me in a minute. So basically... every session that we're doing, they'll range. I mean, we had a session a few days ago, and it was only half an hour. Now, to an extent, people would say, "Well, what's the point in half an hour?" There's every point. Half an hour ticks the game along nicely, and it's really, really important. So we're going to start in with Matt, all being well. I'm loading this up as a solo game, and when it gets his arse in gear, our timing is at the very end of the year. So Matt, this is how Matt's out. Halfway stage of the season. Season 21, I think it is. Sorry, 22 is it? Season 22, I think it is. And it's a halfway stage, 26 game season, and he's looking good. I say looking good, I actually thought, I don't know why I had it in my head, it was looking stronger, but he the last game before the winter break, he lost at his rivals, of course. He's no stranger to AEK scoring 2 goals, is he? He really isn't. So, just to cast your mind back, he was knocked out of the Europa League to Porto, difficult game, and he was reduced to the Europa League after being knocked out of the Champions League, final qualifier, to Manchester City. He had to play a qualifier, finishing runners-up in Greece, got through the first stage of the qualifier, but the last one, the playoff game, he was hammered at Man City after a 2-2 draw in the first leg where he surrendered a 2-0 lead. He only just scraped through the first hurdle of the Europa League. Took extra time on that. And he's still going strong in the Greek FA Cup. Still going strong over there. And in terms of his 6-7 signings, he's brought some great ones. I think I might have shown you this already, I can't remember. But he's brought some great players. I think there was a couple of ones that really stuck out for me. Muric is a great player. And look at that, 7-8-5, 11 goals and 11 assists in 26 games in all competitions. It's really it's there that he's really warranted. Amiri's an interesting one. Little history on him is that he popped up on the school search, so we know he's got a 180 PA. But he was on, he's been on the school search for the best part of 3-4 years, but none of us have ever picked him up. He didn't look great, but he was on the school search, which meant he had a 180 PA, and none of us have ever bothered. No one's ever bought him. Matt says, because I think he used up a load of his money, he goes, I'm going to take a punt on my last transfer. And to be fair, he's done well. He has done well. No, he hasn't really developed because he hasn't played, but he spent a lot of his money on this Ecuadorian defender, I think 18 odd million. But yeah, he's in good stead. So Corinthians, that was it, Corinthians. So, leg complete for the Corinthians. We did it the hard way. We really did it the hard way. Just like Australia, really, you had to make the top 4. It was irrelevant if you finished top, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, because you would then have to have a semi-final encounter. So like Australia, like another phase, Australia was a little bit different because you would have the top 6, then you'd have a little mini-league, then you'd have the top 2 of that mini-6. Here, it worked that whoever finished top would play 4th and 2nd against 3rd. So the very last game of the this particular stage was... there, and I had to win that because I wanted to ensure that I won it because I didn't want to play Flamengo in the semi-finals. Flamengo, my biggest danger team. Luckily, we avoided them, and in terms of the semi-finals. Flamengo drew with Sao Paulo 1-1 in the first leg. We hammered our way through the first leg. Second leg, Sao Paulo knocked out Flamengo, which was great news to me. We already had 1 foot in the final. We finished off the job, and then the final, which was the last game of the session yesterday, we beat Sao Paulo, and we have completed the Brazilian leg of the World Tour. It was a really good season for us. I say season, half a season really. We took over. We took over in July, weren't it? July, around, I'll tell you where we took over, exactly where we took over, right here. We took over in August. We took over in August, because that game there had already been sorry, I got that wrong. That game had already taken place against Gremio. We took over at the start of August, ready for this game here. And, you know, we weren't able to buy players. Now, I'm going to tell you something, right? It weren't until we did stream yesterday. The transfer deadline had already gone for when I took over, so I couldn't bring in 7 signings. And then we're on stream, and someone threw the idea, and I didn't even think about it, why don't you get some loanees? And I didn't even think, probably even if I did, I'd have thought that they wouldn't let me get loanees, but they did. And we got loanees in, we got 7 loanees, they were my 7 signings for this season. Me and Matt have always said, get a loan as one of your 7 is absolutely fine, but as big teams, you don't really need it. But the 7 signings, right, I fucked up again here. I say fuck up, really. So we brought in, let's say Moises here from Santos. Now, a rule in Brazil is that if he has already played a game in the Championship for Santos, he's ineligible to play for me. He played, as you can see, sorry, that's Santos, sorry. But so he wasn't able to play for me in the league. He played 1 game for me, but it was continental. More about that in a moment. So it backfired really. We got this guy here, McKinnon, and he was actually a really good player. And we got him from Spurs, so he was able to play for us. And then we got some other showers of shit here and there. We dropped another bollock over here. Bell, I think we got him from Argentina, so he could play a little bit. No. Who else was it we got? Ryan's not. Yeah, Garcia came from Banfield. He's played a couple of games. We desperately needed a goalie because we only had 2 goalkeepers. And at one point during this influx of games, and if you look at September, look at October alone. Look at the games. At one point there was internationals, and both of our goalkeepers were on international duty, and we had no goalkeeper. We actually had to use a shaded out goalkeeper, and then he got sent off, which was bizarre. Meanwhile, you've probably seen it there, but we actually won the Copa Sudamericana. We won it against San Lorenzo in the final, which I think is like an equivalent. It must be the equivalent Champions League, because we then instantly qualified for the Club World Cup. And as you can see, we did ourselves proud. We took on last season's Champions League winners, Bayern Munich, and we were eliminated on penalties. We didn't deserve it, it's fair to say, but we did not disgrace ourselves. Gutted. Penalty shootout is really a coin toss, and I think because we landed Bayern Munich, we would have had the Qatarian team, Al Sadd, in the final, but didn't happen. It wasn't to be. So the question now is, and this is the big question, is what's on the job list? There's only 2 countries left that we haven't been to, we haven't concluded a leg. One of which is Australia, which of course we have been to, and that didn't work out too well, so we're going to want to make a return there. And of course, Greece. So Greece is on the agenda, with Matt looking good in Greece. It's hard. I mean, there's a few options for me. If one of the bigger teams come available, and when I say one of the bigger teams, I'm really referring to Dortmund or Bayern Munich, then you're looking at a 5-year stint there with the money, the resources, the squad, and building something. This is what me and Matt want to do, particularly with those 2 German teams. Maybe even Inter Milan, because that was available before I came to Brazil, but I opted not to. I think it's going to be very difficult for me to get a job, an adequate job, in that specific country. But you never know. So it depends what comes up. Another option for me, having completed the leg in Brazil, I may stay in Brazil for the next phase, which is going to be the start of the year, which is going to be the Campeonato Paulista. So, and we'll be in the Copa Liberados as well. Now that will run right through to, that's going to run right through till June the 19th. You know, essentially, if we were to get to the top 4, and it'll be the same sort of thing. So, you know, it might be beneficial. It might be beneficial in terms, and I must say beneficial. I'm on about when you look at manager stats. That's Brazil, obviously. That's let's look at the overall. I am still world class. I've done well to keep that. But Matt, in the meanwhile, he's down to very good. He's got a bit of work to do, and he's been knocked out the UEFA Cup as well. So he knows he's got a lot of work to do in order to keep the reputation up. And the only way he can really do that from his perspective is to win every game. It really is going to be the case, because if he wins every game, he can do it in terms of points. Let's have a look at his points. Oh, there he is. There he is. So, and that's probably based on, again, you know, I don't know, it's a tricky one for him, it really is. I mean, we're second, but that's because we've been involved for a lot of European as such stuff. And of course, we've been involved for England. Now, England, let me show you where we're at with England. England, we drew our friendly at Belgium, and we're looking good. We're looking good. Just to remind you, we took the England job predominantly to maintain our reputation, because we hadn't left Bruges at that point. And I think the reputation is key. It's going to be very difficult, because I've still got to go to, I need to go to Australia and Greece. Now, if I go to Australia and Greece, like what Matt's enduring at the minute, the reputation takes a hit, particularly if you're not in Europe, or if you get knocked out of Europe. It's very, very tricky. But, well, as I said, let's just take, I mean, Matt did point something out, actually. Yeah, Olympiakos, and if I've not said that correctly, fuck you. Olympiakos. They are insecure. Now, I would take Olympiakos. They've got some credentials, they've got some resources, they've got some money. Would I take them if they came available tomorrow? Didn't mean to go to that. Would I take them? Probably I would, actually. You know, in all fairness, I probably would take them, but it would be an 18-month deal. I say deal. You know, I wouldn't be challenging for the title this season because Matt's there. I think if Matt wins a title, PAOK, which I think he will, I think he's going to want to fuck off out of Greece immediately. No doubt about that. You know, it would be an 18-month really, because I'd need to, I mean, in an ideal world, right, if that's going to happen, right, I need that job to come now, because I can get 6 transfers in January and then 6 more at the turn of the season. If it don't come up now and it comes up in March, April, I'm not going to get an addition, not 6, I meant 7. You know, I need it to come in sooner rather than later. That being said, the other option, of course, is going back to Australia. And I would happily go back to Australia. Slightly insecure, Central Coast, okay finances, 20,000 stadium, little bit of cash. You know, I don't know. They are halfway, aren't they? They are halfway through. They're halfway through their. Is it halfway? Yes, halfway through their phase. So, Western United, of course, is who we had before. I don't know. Well, I suppose there is always a possibility, for argument's sake, that Jordan Lennox might take a job somewhere else, which then vacates Western United, which then gives me an opportunity to swoop in there. It's great. It's great. I mean, the story itself, the World King, it just gets better and better. I'll say better. It's a bit of a tough time for Matt at the minute, but we've both endured tough times. Argentina. Matt's not been to Argentina at all yet, whereas I did it with Boca Juniors. Australia, well, that was a tough time for me. We got to the second stage. We got out the second stage. We got to the final, and we lost. No, that was a hard pill to swallow. Belgium, Matt has still got to go to Belgium yet. Of course, I did Belgium with Bruges, Circle Bruges at the second time of asking after taking Genk and then leaving. Brazil, well, that's tick for both of us now. England was a tick for Matt at the start. He started off with Man City, and I did it with Newcastle at the third time of asking. England proved really tricky for me personally. France, we both did that with ease. Germany, we did that with ease, and we both will return to Germany. Greece, of course, Matt's looking good at the in his second season. Italy had to. It took him the second time of asking with AC Milan. And I did it at the first time of asking with AC Milan. Holland, we both did. Matt did that with Feyenoord. I did it with Ajax. Portugal, I think I did it with Porto. Then I think Matt did it with Porto. Scotland, I did it with Rangers. Matt did it with Celtic. I did do it again with Scotland with Celtic. Spain. Now I started with Spain with Real Madrid, so I did it. Matt has been to Spain twice and it's not worked out. He's got to go back a third time. It's ironic that he's going to have to go back to Spain for a third time of asking where I started, and a bit like me having to go back to England where he started. Espanyol and Atletico Madrid. He needs Barca or Real Madrid really. And finally, United States. That we've both done that as well. We both concluded the leg in the United States. So and of course we've got the international side of things. It's a World Cup year. For me, actually not a World Cup year, it's going to be a World Cup year next season. So Greece would be ideal for me right now because it would give me 18 months in Greece followed by a World Cup year. But who knows? Until next time from me, guys, take it easy.